Welcome to a new Travel Spark by TTG video series. As its name suggests, Travel Spark by TTG is a program that aims to spark off travel and events desire and ideas and show you how you and your clients, business partners, and target audience can return to travel and events in this new era. This Travel Spark by TTG series is focused on Taiwan. Now, Taiwan is one of the leading tourist and business events destinations here in Asia, and you will learn why in this 4-part series. In this episode, we will learn how Taiwan fares as a global hub for intellectual exchange and trade. And to take us through this topic is Diplomat Michel Ching-Long. Michel has represented Taiwan in various cities and countries such as Switzerland, Haiti, and France. Among his years of diplomatic duties, he last held the title of Deputy Director General, NGO International Affairs, commissioned with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Director General Office in Geneva from 1998 to 2000. Due to his contributions to promoting bilateral relations between Taiwan and France, an alley in Paris was named after him. Ali Michel Ching-Long. Is that right, Michel?
Yeah, thank you. It's a great honor and pleasure for me to be on air with our friends in Singapore.
Thank you for coming and joining us, Michel. So, throughout your diplomatic work, you must have interacted with many other world citizens along the way. From your interactions, what are some of the common perceptions of Taiwan as a place for living, leisure, and business?
Okay, when it comes to leisure in Taiwan, choices are abundant. Because in Taiwan, we do have 24% of land are arable for agriculture, for living, but we do have, more than 100 mountains higher than, the altitude is higher than 3,000 meters. This is why the rich, different geographical situation allow people to bicycling around the island, and then we do have also each year the river crossing for the adventurers, and even in Taiwan you have each year different competition. We do have organize a lot of sports activities, including for the students, for the schoolboys or girls. This means in Taiwan, not just only because Taiwan, we are very well developed in our cinema, our movie house is all the time full. And then people here can enjoy different cultural activities. That means in Taiwan, you can enjoy the nature, culture, and you can also witness the CSR and more. When you are in Taiwan, you have a lot of things to do. You will find that the 24 hours in Taiwan is too short. This is why leisure in Taiwan, you will not be boring, because in Taiwan, especially for the young students, they will really enjoy their studies and then the environments for the weekend or even in the evening. And then when we talk about the business, this is one of the most, strong or performant in Taiwan. If I'm allowed to tell you that for the business, the government certainly is supporting all the time. Because in Taiwan, we were in shortage of natural resources. This is why the brand that the design, education, and then the communications with the outside world, that been interactions with the international community remains so important. The government certainly on one hand encourages people to go abroad, but we at the same time we try to improve the general situation to attract more talents, more students to come to Taiwan. And then if you are in Taiwan, then even you are not speaking Mandarin, it doesn't matter. People will receive you with smiles, and then even they couldn't understand your English, speak very speedy, but they are all the time available to render you the services. This is why, in Taiwan, for business, it is really very easy. that because the performance on the business realized by the Taiwanese people, not just because 40 years ago, 30 years ago, our businessmen, carrying a handbag and then inside with some samples, they travel around the world to try to promote the products made in Taiwan. But now I only need to tell you that Taiwan today is the number 15th exporting countries in the world. We contribute 2% of the total volume of export in the world. And then we were at the same time the 18th importing markets, representing 1.6% of the total importation in the world. This is why in Taiwan, we are not just only a market, we are also an exporter. And then if you like to interpret such performances, that certainly, because on the general speaking, there is a political political stability. And secondly, people in Taiwan, they are all the time very open, even sometimes a little bit shy. It's not contradictory. We receive the foreigners better than receiving our compatriots. This is our culture of life. This is our art of life. This is why we welcome all the people to come to Taiwan, and then you will find out that the Formosa, the beautiful island, is still very beautiful.
Now, Michel, it's common for meeting planners to look at various factors when deciding on a host city. Such factors could be, the country's economic performance, key industries, investment landscape, and political state. So with these in mind, how welcoming is Taiwan as a destination for trade and intellectual exchanges?
So we know in Taiwan, Taiwan is famous for its high tech today, especially our ICT, if not the number 3 or number 4 in the world. Certainly it is interpretable. That because we have, pay attention on the education. That means no education, no future, no development. This is why in Taiwan, thanks to the different investment on the human resources. This is why people can be well educated, and then we are not, in shortage of technicians for the middle, manufacturing. And then fundamentally, because in Taiwan, we do not have, enough so-called laborers. This is why in Taiwan, we live with more than 180 foreign friends working in Taiwan with us, peacefully certainly. And then the most important will be, as you know, the key sector, key, as you said, key pillar of the industry in Taiwan is our high-tech technology. If today we can be, one of the leading countries, especially even, Apple, they purchased the microchip from the Taiwan semiconductor manufacturing. Certainly this interpreted that the quality price of the CP price, as we say, of the products made in Taiwan is really affordable, and then appreciate. Especially during last year, our friends on the sector of ICT, they were very, very happy because they have too much, well, never too much, they have too much orders, so many orders. So they told me, well, Ambassador, on one hand, facing the pandemic, it is really unacceptable, but anyway, we have no choice. But on the other hand, they were so happy. This is why long-term investment, including at the beginning, during the year of the 60s, we started from the electrical industry, and then information, and now it's a high-tech and even biotech. As you know, in Taiwan, we try to produce our proper vaccines. And then since yesterday, we started the vaccination in Taiwan with our local brand, local products. And if I am allowed to interpret this performance, that because we did have received the return of the students, they have during the years of the 80s, before the lifting of martial law, they have their studies in the States, in Japan, or even in Europe. And then after their return, you see that the economic development assure the continuity of the prosperity in Taiwan. as for me, no secret for such kind of prosperity. That because we did have wonderful people, just like in your noble country, people are all the time enjoy the culture of hard working. But on the other hand, we invest a lot on the R&D. If I tell you that 3.4% of GDP invested on R&D, and then we do have maintained very, very close interactions with the international community. And then in Taiwan, the government, adopted the different measures to assure the safety of the intellectual property. And then when we receive the order, just like a traditional culture, the word is word, promise is promise. So people, the counterpart of the business or even for the industrial corporations, they can feel comfortable when they are working together with Taiwan. This is why not just only we try to continue our efforts, but we try to strengthen the interactions and the international cooperation, international participations. It's not easy, but we are on the right way, and we continue to do that.
That's wonderful, Michel. So how supportive is the Taiwan government of the meetings industry? Can you share with us some instances where certain ministries were instrumental in winning over critical global meetings that benefited Taiwan and the people?
I'm proud to say, to indicate that Taiwan's government is a major support to the MIC industry. We try to attract more people to know Taiwan, to find a partner, a pleasant partner, in which not just only to the meetings, but also to the concern the incentive towards conventions, events, and exhibitions. And as you know, Taiwan is Bureau of Foreign Trade under the Ministry of Economic Affairs purview is all the time a great supporter, especially to the running of Taipei International Convention Center. And then for this issue, I would like to highlight a critical meeting that benefits Taiwan, which is also considered as an important milestone for the global meeting, global events. Sorry, that's been the International Congress and the Convention Association's 59th Congress was held in Kaohsiung. In spite of the event COVID-19. And it is really not a creation, but anyway, it's a new way of doing. It's the first event for this sector, hybriding the format. And then we the wonderful result, wonderful success, brought us a happy surprise. That was not just only suppressing the expectation, and not just only allow the participants in line with the special idea that means the 6 week online pre-congress to allow the participant to know the necessity, for example, major trend, technologies, events, and then how to prepare for the future. This is why Taiwan, if we can obtain more opportunities, certainly the result of such exchanges will be more fruitful. This is why, not the question of size, but the question of quality.
Okay, and finally, Michel, what bright sparks do you see amid the pandemic gloom? And what would be advantageous to Taiwan once the crisis is under better control?
Well, according to the APAC statistics, Asia is expected to be the bright spot of travel, incentive meetings destination in the year of 2022. And then in the pandemic, in the past post-pandemic era, the top 3 destination consideration will be hygiene, cost, and the reputation. And in respect to hygiene, Taiwan's public transportation and hotels strictly follow CDC's rules and measures. Even the Ministry of the Economic Affairs established a safety guide for the MIC industry. That means that all the participants in Taiwan will be assured with your safety. And regarding the reputation, as you know, the world's witness to Taiwan's success rate in response to the global pandemic. The government quickly and efficiently formulated the necessary policy and the measures in order that we can minimize the COVID impact. This is why today the international community should work together, not just only to fight against the pandemic of COVID-19, but also for the international exchanges. That means international meeting, conventions, and also contacts on the different provisions. This is why I'm quite sure that Taiwan even can be brighter than after the pandemic subsides. Taiwan is not far from the international community. It's an island, yes, but because we are surrounded by blue sea, this is why there's no limitation to have further contacts with our people, and then to allow our people to have more opportunities to make friends with everybody. So welcome to Taiwan and enjoy your good stay here.
Thank you so much for your time, Michel.
Yeah, thank you. It's my honor and pleasure. Best regards.
In our next episode of Travel Spark by TTG with Taiwan, we will learn how Taiwan's ongoing green tourism efforts will give her an advantage in the future of travel. Meanwhile, take care, stay safe, and I'll see you on the next episode. Goodbye.